For the first 6 years, I produced furnishing fabrics and dress fabrics, and I sold them under the name of Bernard Ashley. But during those years, I was building printing machinery of my own, you know, Trivik Heath Robinson things. And the biggest problem was registration, when you had to link one end of the print with the other. And the only way to get round it was to produce tea towels, because there was a gap between them. I thought that tea towels were very degrading. So we had to stick to Laura Ashley ever since. No, we had a couple of leases further down the street.
Yes.
But this one, as you can see, is right by the Avenue Toison d'Or.
Yes.
And it's where all the people come up from the station and go through to the big office buildings, including the Common Market headquarters.
Fantastic.
This is it, here, just before this restaurant.
Yeah.
The whole front's coming off, you know. I mean,
yes.
And we're redoing that, and we're painting the top here.
Yeah.
And, well, there we are.
Yeah.
There you go. Hello, bonjour.
How are you? Great. Isn't this pretty?
Well, you made a start. Yeah?
Yeah.
When opened, this bustle shop will join the 40 or more other Laura Ashley shops, spread over a dozen countries and selling every year some £30 million worth of dresses, fabrics and wallpapers. And it is just 8 years since the Ashleys opened their first shop.
You're going to have wallpaper.
The Ashleys are their own designers, manufacturers, retailers and exporters. And as well as the shops they own themselves, they have outlets in some 500 shops within shops, dotted around the world from Tokyo to Johannesburg, from Melbourne to Montreal.
It's a lot to do in a short time.
Yes, but
Goodness.
I think it will be all right.
Yeah.
We're fairly spread out in Europe now, and we've got a tremendous amount of travelling to do. Fares were going up, and also we were finding it more and more difficult to get scheduled plane seats. Our headquarters is in Wales, and we had to take a lot of transit flights. When it ended up at the end of the day, it was a highly viable proposition. I just wonder what time what time do we get to Paris?
What time?
Yeah.
Probably in about half an hour.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 minutes. Well.
Yeah, fine. That's good.
Apparently the French decorate their flats twice a year completely. You know, they'll come in the spring for spring papers, and then they'll come in the autumn
Well, that's marvellous.
for autumn papers. Incredible market.
Yeah. I think the most urgent problem in Paris is to get the warehouse stocks up. We leapt first to Switzerland, the safety of Switzerland, Geneva. Then after Geneva, we went to Holland, another safe place to start in, and then to one or two other places in Europe. And the last place we went to was France, because we all of us said, if we go to Paris, we're putting our head into the lion's den.
We thought the women would be so fussy, nothing would be right, and we'd really be making a headache for ourselves. But it was quite the reverse. They've been absolutely tremendous.
Well, they must think rather a lot of us, because there are an awful lot of copies about, which is the sincerest form of compliment.
Yeah, but I think we're selling a way of life. I know when we travel, people say to me that what is admired so much about this country is its way of life. British people are less neurotic than others, and probably they find some of it in our product.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Very good. 29 dresses again, eh?
It's good.
Yeah, very nice.
And the French are tremendously appreciative. And of course, if you have Parisians excited about something, then you've got the rest of Europe excited, because Paris is Europe. We definitely will only produce things which we can visualize in a country setting, and particularly, of course, a British country setting, to project British country way of life, which is so much admired in very many other countries, and which is really a very saleable point for us in France particularly. They adore this feeling of English country life in our clothes.
Well, we felt we had to have a shop in Paris. Everybody agreed that it was mad, that we'd be a complete failure, it wouldn't work. But we still went ahead. We chose Saint-Germain because it's the center of the fashion industry, and we chose the Rue de Saint-Père because it's where you get the greatest amount of traffic passing through from one side of Paris to the other. The cars stop, the women look in the window, and eventually they came in and bought.
We're moving into interior decoration much more with the success of the furnishing fabrics and wallpapers. It's just really an extension of the same lifestyle, following through from the basic concept of the garments.
Well, having been successful on the left bank, and you know, some Saturdays we've got so many customers in that shop there, we have to close the doors every half an hour. We decided to open our second shop on the right bank in the 16th district, which, as you can see in this street, we have a huge amount of traffic coming past the shop. It's an extremely fashionable part of Paris. We know a lot of our customers at the moment come from over here. We have a larger shop. They're the main reasons. And we hope to repeat the formula. Taxi, though. Go back, come out, move out, walk out. Okay. Fine, beautiful. Let's keep getting taxis. Taxi, taxi, come on.
Taxi!
c'est difficile pour moi.
Non, c'est facile à lire.
C'est un peu facile. Oui, d'accord. Maintenant, c'est 2 euros, je pense. Oui. Merci. Oui, non. Je suis ici demain pour certains, je suis ici demain pour encore des merveilleux livres français. Merci.
Hold it. Good, great. Beautiful.
Don't smile.
And again. Gotcha. That's beautiful. Hold that. That's it. Fine.
Well, now, first of all, we've got some mock-ups of designs that we've used on garments, which we think might be considered for wallpaper because they're great favourites of everybody's. And
This one worked very well, didn't it, on garments?
This
Yes.
has been extensively copied.
That one we haven't used.
yes, but that's, I don't mind that a bit because if it's going to make a beautiful wallpaper, well.
Have we got US
what the hell?
registration on this one?
On that one, yes.
It's registered,
Mhm.
for sure, so we can use it. That's
Now this
beautiful.
is a new one that
Yeah.
nobody's ever. This is absolutely new,
Yeah.
and I think that's
That's
rather
super,
sweet.
isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah? Have we got a bit of white paper then?
Yes.
We can use it more
This
easily.
is hard though. I don't
Yeah.
know if you can.
Hard paper,
Hard paper.
as opposed to soft.
That
Super.
makes it look a little dark, actually.
Yes,
I
well,
like
it's
it
not
the
quite
other way
flat.
around.
Now,
I think
yes,
it's, let's see the positive and negative effect if
Yes.
you put
Yeah.
it there.
That's much better.
I
Much-
prefer
That's
that, yes.
fantastic, isn't it?
Yes,
Really
could
is
be.
But
good.
there's no doubt about it, that people are mixing.
Yes, that's right. Reversal on the fabric.
But there are even
Yeah.
people using positive and negative wallpapers in the same room, so one wall is in one and three
Panels.
walls
The
are in
problem-
another.
I
Yes,
can't
yes.
imagine that at all.
Yes, well, it does work.
No, Liza, this one is very suitable for young girls, isn't
Yes. Yes.
it? How does it look to you?
I think it's all right.
Bit too fussy?
Possibly because you've got 3 different frill widths.
Yes, you
I
have.
think maybe we've got to make it more uniform.
Yes, yes. How to do it? How do you know? Because the yoke's quite pretty, actually.
Yes.
It's the pockets that
Yes.
are too heavy, aren't they, really?
So I think
You
if
can
we
do
can
something with the
lessen the
pocket.
ruffle on the pocket. I
But
think.
the hem here is quite nice. I mean, that's rather sweet there, isn't it?
Yes, I think it'd be very good.
Yes, could you just turn right round, spin right round, Larry? That's. Yes, it's very sweet,
I think
isn't
the
it?
back's very good.
Yes.
Liza, it's just one piece.
Some cheese.
Ah,
No,
cheese.
yes.
Just a quick bit of white meat.
Thank you.
Some white meat.
Yeah. Delicious pasty, absolutely fantastic.
Valerie, let's have a look at that. Huh?
The coat.
What?
That's with the coat.
Can you slip the coat off?
And the jacket's a bit too small.
What, the waistcoat?
Yeah, for me.
The super, the colour combinations between the grey cotton and the flannel, isn't it?
Yes. It's very pretty.
That's it, just slightly turn around, move over there, that's it. And keep in the sun. Great.
What time are we leaving in the morning?
9 o'clock from the Bourget.
So, you're happy with the new shop in the 16th, are you?
Oh, I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
The windows are incredible.
We've got a heck of a lot of window display there.
Yes, I know. Dominique's very excited. He said it'd been absolutely lovely to decorate those windows because the windows at 66 are a bit
Yes,
difficult.
she'll love that. Yeah.
So she's really looking forward to
I
that.
just thought, actually, I wonder if we're doing that Brussels. You've seen this Brussels front, have you?
No.
I must make a check. They're going to do it that dark green. That's the one we're going to do, that one there.
Does this use the existing window door?
Sorry, it's, yes,
Oh,
it
they're
uses
taking
the
it.
same door there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. The stick on there must be dark green. But I hope we
The
don't...
windows are going to be different than they are at present.
Yes, you know, there's that sort of thing now which is just coming off.
Yes.
So that should be okay.
Super.
I think it should open on time, just. The Paris one will be okay, and then we'll do the one in the Rue de Grenelle after that. So next week we'll be seeing Jim. He's coming in from New York on Monday.
Yes.
And I'll meet him at Shopton, say hello, and then fly on to Holland. And I'll be leaving Eindhoven at 3 o'clock.
Oh, I see.
So I'll be home in Wales by 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And then Jim's leaving again at 8:30 on Tuesday morning.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know how they do it.
You'll have the evening with him, won't
Yeah.
you?
But you've got all those colours and things ready for Jim, have you?
Yes, we've got it all laid on. I hope
You've
so.
got a complete collection of new colours for him.
Yes.
Who did them, Phil?
Well, it's a sort of mixture of everybody, really. We've all pitched in.
And there's
Because,
no question of confusion of prints with Dick in the wallpaper
No.
range? No, so that's okay.
No, we've worked it out, because there are certain prints that would just never make wallpaper prints anyway.
No. Okay. So that's all right. And Peter's ringing me tonight from San Francisco, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I must pick that up. And we'll hear about the Union Street shop then.
Yeah.
Joe has signed that lease now, I think, in Toronto. So we should open that in the spring,
Yeah.
which is just right. It's going to be a heck of a good shop, that one. Everything else is more or less
Yeah.
standard here.
Good late night.
The late night figures are good.
Yeah.
Dusseldorf is still wavering around a bit, that number 2 shop there.
Yes. Dutch shops are doing
Dutch shops are
too.
fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I don't think we ought to do anything with that mastering shop until we've opened Brussels and the other shop in Paris. That's all covered now.
That's something
Well,
tomorrow.
well, we're getting on with it.
Yeah.
So that's it. I don't think it's much that's old stuff I should chuck away, really.
Yeah.
So in a little while you'll see little Emma.
Where is she? Where are you?
Hi.
How was it?
All right, great.
As well as Emma, aged 11, and Jane, aged 22, the Ashleys have 2 sons, David and Nicholas. David, at 21, is already in the business on the engineering side, and the others are planning on entering too in some capacity or other, most likely on design. The Ashleys have 500 acres here in mid-Wales, mostly given over to their 700 sheep.
Come up, Taff. Yeah. Come up. Come up. Good up. Come up. Come up. Come up.
That lamb up there. Did we have any last night?
Yes.
Where?
Oh, about, I should think, 5 or 6.
Ah.
Couple over there.
Over there.
Set of twins up under the tree up there.
Yeah.
2, 3 over there. There's a young ewe up there, like that's our first lamb.
Yeah.
She hasn't got much milk for it, see?
Yeah. But how many we lost this year, do you reckon?
Well, I shouldn't think any more than about 6 or 7.
That's fantastic. Isn't it?
Laura never strays far from a telex. In fact, their shops, their agents, their 5 factories in the United Kingdom, and their 2 on the continent, their Paris flat and their Welsh home are all linked by telex.
Thank heaven for the influence of one's family. I haven't been a great disciplinarian. I simply let them go their own ways. But as we said the other day, they're all still at home, damn it. Other people's children seem to go away, but I'm still cooking for 6.
You had the hump through. I know, we heard it. Making it terrific then. Just as well it didn't go through on the bike. Yeah.
The Ashleys started in business the year Jane, their eldest, was born. The breakthrough with the tea towels coincided with David's birth. Nicholas was just 3 when they moved to Wales, and Emma's arrival was equated with the beginning of their expansion at Carno.
More than one day in bed.
And people in the country when they get it somehow is much worse.
I can only remember the dates by thinking of my children at that time.
We're all set.
Where are we off? Across the hill to the
Yes,
lake?
we're going up to Plinlimmon,
Put some more in here.
then up to Snowdon.
And then down to the Himalayas.
That's right, yeah, for tea.
I think working as we have up until this point, there's been a very healthy kind of synergism and
Yes.
communication, taking what you're working on, which has been so right and directional, and I think we have to mesh it more closely to the timing needs of our market. That's the one area in which I think
That's
that
an
we
area
would
in
and
which,
should do better.
yes, with far-flung markets now, we have to work at least 6 months ahead, if not more.
Yes, this is the current fall collection, which we're doing in the States.
Yes.
And you see the example here as to how we've put together 2 of the patterns on the
Yes.
solid, and this really tells the story.
Yes.
And this is the last of the group, which is the
Plains.
solids.
Oh, very nice.
Without the prints, the solids would be nothing.
No.
Both the written media, the fashion magazines,
Yes.
and of course television has an enormous impact.
Yes.
Because at any one moment, when Dinah Shore appears on daytime television, there are perhaps 30 or 40 million women from all parts of the country watching her and being influenced by what she wears, how she dresses, and wanting
And they'll
to
want the
emulate
colour
her.
that she's wearing.
So we tend to saturate with a given look much more rapidly than you do here, and also
Yes.
to disperse it much more widely in our market.
Yes. And are you planning now to do just two collections a year, or will you do 4?
I think we'll do 3 or
3.
4.
Yes. So that you'll have a follow-on from this, which will be for when?
Well, the next group that we present, which I hope you and I are going to work on next,
Yes.
will be for the cruise early spring season. And our marketing effort really will begin in the month of May.
But
Yes.
when you say cruise, one hears this word cruise as regards the market in the States, but do really so very many people go cruising, or do they just, is it just wishful thinking?
I think it has a very nice cachet to it. There are very few ships as well as people who go cruising anymore. But
Yes,
the women
they
are
like to-
inspired to go into the shop and buy something for spring
they
when
can
there's
put
still
on
snow
their
on the
cruise
ground.
wear, even if they're not cruising.
And
I think that's a very
then
good
bundle up
idea.
in their heavy wool
Yes.
coats and go out in the snow.
Have a cruise at home. We modelled this in Paris last week, and we thought it was very pretty. We thought it was definitely for a younger age group. Problems with making that, Anne?
Really? No.
The only thing we did think was, oh, Jane, could you put your hands in the pockets? Now, that we changed the pocket because you've got one width of frill on the yoke and another width, 3 different widths of frill. So what do you think we could do about that, Anne?
So make the frill, the top frill on the hem the same width
Same again, and
and
that
it will be the
balances
same.
up. That would be nice. That would be a nice one for children.
Or even
too.
long, in fact, with the same
Yes.
width of frill.
Yes. Okay, thanks, Jane. That's great.
That's the Paris ones. The ones we shot in the street. You know, the taxi one. I was trying to get that notice in, you know.
Yeah.
Tête de station, but...
It's a shame about this one, actually.
Yes.
Another look at that, or is it...
Well,
merely
we're
because
not
of the
actually.
photo?
That dress is not heavily on the market, so they don't want the photo.
It's too expensive to
Yeah.
produce.
Yeah. So that's the one there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can stamp that publication. This one is hopeless because the dress is blown round or something, and it makes her look very, you know.
Yeah. It's a
fat.
shame, eh? Because
Yeah.
it's got quite a good expression.
Yeah. So that one's no good. That one's pretty hopeless there. That one could be all right. But we've done this dress before, so I think we can, you know, take it as read that we don't want it there.
Now, Philip, I found these in Paris last week, and you can see the colours are beautiful.
Yes,
And I think we could make, now that we're doing the half-tone process, I thought we could make a collage of the clearest of these for a children's wallpaper, because it would be so sweet. We could pick out just the very clearest and see how they go. That one's a bit muzzy, I think.
Yes.
This one's my favourite, but it's got a crease in it. I don't know if you do you think you can
Yes, we can certainly do something
get
like that.
something on that.
Nice, it's come out well,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
About this little mark here, I think that'll show. Or...
Well, yeah, it'll show, but I think it'll be all right. It gives it an extra sort of natural look.
Yeah.
And I mean, the sky, you can see the little thing in the sky, so it'll fit around it.
Oh, it looks really...
The creases come out, right?
Yeah.
I managed to get it out. No, it still gets a bit hazy. We haven't got a definite outline
Yeah, it
of
seems
the...
to go into...
Yeah, on
and
the
there,
trousers,
really.
yeah.
The original.
And I hope that all these flecks come out in the sky as well, because
give them more depth.
they're still very, very, very grey. Gosh, I wonder. Well, it'll be good if it comes out. That's all I can say. And if we get all this, if the green fits on there, right, it'll look good. It'll give it a bit of depth because you get the brown or whatever it is that you're going to use for the ground cut, you know. at the moment. We've got the colours that clashing with it. Might be nice if we did like the blue or the green.
The outline of the tricycle dress.
Yeah, on the sky.
Before we do that, yes.
Well, originally I was writing, or at least trying to write, or trying to get paid for writing. And I asked my wife to start a business, and she started trying to print textiles. She spent 6 months reading a technical book on printing, which didn't explain the principle. I had a look at it one day, and together we worked out how to print textiles, not with potatoes, but with screens. And we started printing, and I was just fascinated by the colours.
We started printing small scarves, which we found were very popular at the time. And we printed them on a kitchen table in Pimlico, where I was writing. And within a very short time, my wife's business, which had my name, of course, Bernard Ashley, quickly overtook my writing income. We then got another factory, the word factory is in quote, in Kent. And we built one of our first printing machines there. And that was where we produced the tea towels, as well as the furnishing fabrics and all the other things. And we were very nicely underway, and when the whole thing got swamped out in a big flood, the insurance company, I forget the name of it, but they refused to pay out. They said it was an act of God. So we were back on square one. And suddenly one day my wife said to me, "Why don't we go back to Wales, where she came from?" So I said, yes. And an hour later, we were on the road to Wales. Well, I had a lot of distractions in London, but 200 miles away in Wales, I had no options left. I just had to work. So we found this little shed in Carno, and we piled in there and brought in my machines, 2 or 3 people, and started working. And then I had another misfortune. The people of Carno decided to join in. After that, I'd had it. I was working, traveling, selling, moving around the world. And we were growing in Carno to what we do today. It's meant that a lot of people didn't have to leave the immediate area and go for jobs either in the new towns around here or to go to the Midlands. They're able to stay here. A lot of the people who work here have their own farms, and they have long weekends, 4.5-day weeks, so they've got plenty of time to spend on the farm as well. I just get very upset when you go somewhere and you've got this sort of us and them situation. People rolling into work at 10 o'clock. When the workers roll in at 8 o'clock, we're all workers. For instance, the wearing of suits and special clothing in factories. The workers have to wear rough clothing because they can get stains on their clothing. Well, you can get stained in the office on an office copier. The point is that terms and conditions are much more important than the actual wages and the respect with which people have in a factory or an office where they try and work together. We did it in the war in England. I think if we could do it now, we could be absolutely formidable. You know, I said to my wife one day, listen, you know what we want in our business? We want to sell cloth, because I'm a textile printer. I said, why the heck don't we do a long dress? Because women wore long dresses for, you know, hundreds of years. and that'll use 6 or 7 yards of my fabric.
The first one we did use 10 metres. So then when people tried to imitate us, they found that they couldn't spell those metres to put into the dress, and they were always trying to cut down on the fabric end, whereas we always had fabric was something we had plenty of.
That was our first lesson in verticality. Because we could sling it all together, we were producing the fabric at a very low cost, and we could afford to use 10 yards. So we built it largely on the long dress. We don't hold collections, for instance. We can't, because we're producing new stuff every week, and we're not showing to the trade. But we do feel part of English fashion.
Can we have some more hangers, please? We try to cover the areas in the market which we think are not covered, and this usually means the country image, particularly, rather than the Chelsea sort of town area. The flowery country garden sort of thing seems to be what is required, but colour is very important. Something will just stand or fall on its shade of colour.
I used to supply a couture designer in Paris, and some 10 years ago I was in his shop, which is a tiny shop, about 1,500 square feet, on the left bank in Paris, in Saint-Germain. He had a turnover of £5,000 a week, which at that time was incredible. I said to him one day, how the heck do you do it? He said, well, I sit in the back of my shop and I watch all the customers coming in. There were huge amounts of customers coming in and all buying. And I thought about it. I went home and I told my wife. She said, open a shop. I said, no, we haven't got the money to open a shop. She said, well, put it on a barrow. I said, I'm not going to put it on a barrow. I said, I don't want to upset the wholesale market. So anyway, inevitably, 2 years later, we got our first retail shop in South Kensington. For 6 months, it was a flop. I said, Laura, you're crazy, it's a flop.
Oh, well, it wasn't a flop. It was quite good, but in actual fact, we like things to be exciting. So we pitched in and made it exciting. And 6 months later, we had to lock the doors to keep people out because it was so crowded.
Well, I just advertised it. We're always against advertising. I took 100 posters on the London Underground and advertised one dress. 3 days later, our turnover had gone up by 300%. 2 months later, it had gone up by 3,000%. We were in the retailing business.
What about something in that sort of style? You don't? Do you want something a bit more of a navy?
That one's quite pretty. No, I don't really. I suppose the plain gold something. Yeah, but do you want one like this?
Yeah.
You want to try a shirt one? Why was it just cheap enough?
The yellow one. I think I will do. I think it was too long. It's a lot, isn't it?
I'm looking at you.
Just looking. Okay.
The Ashley employees' idea of a restful weekend is to organise a football match between the factory girls and the shop girls.
Come on, help them in the back.
Do you like it?
I think mainly our success is due to the fact that we found an untapped market in producing a non-commercialized looking product, and we exploited that. And at first, when it started to move at a very fast pace, we were all virtually overwhelmed. We wondered if it would end within a year or 2 years, but it didn't. And we came to our senses and got down and really started to try and satisfy that demand as best as we could. And now we've just learned to live with the so-called success. You know, it's merely a question of hard work.
It's only as good as each year comes and goes. I mean, it's not a sort of thing you can sit down and say you've got. It's a continuing thing, so it's only as good as your achievement each year.
But what's delighted me mainly with our success is that we've made a group of people work together for a sort of common aim, and we believe that we're all fairly happy. You know, I mean, it's not very nice for some people to have to work at mundane jobs, but overall, they like it. We don't know what it is. We don't try to analyze it because we may destroy it if we analyze it too much. But they do like working for the firm, the idea, and that's pleased me more than anything.
Yeah, I tell you one thing that they like the fact that, for instance, if they're working in a shop, they can come and visit the factory and they can see the things actually being made, and they can have contact and make friends with the people who are making the things. And also they can tell the factory exactly what the customers think of things and what the customers have said about things. And then again, since we've spread around into Europe and so on, you've got the added excitement that that people at the factory can visit shops in our shops in Europe and meet people there, and the staff in Europe can come to Wales, and they think Wales is absolutely the most marvellous country in the whole world.
I think one of the other pleasing aspects is that we've managed to make the company into a sort of one-class company. There's no us and them. That's all together. The only thing that differentiates one member of the staff from another is their salary, which obviously has to be, you know, different salary scales. But that's all. No other difference.
I don't think it's a success story. Sounds very personal. It's a company achievement, really. It's just that, I mean, there are thousands of other small companies in the country who are equally successful and achieve things. I don't think we think we're so special from within, except that, of course, we feel we have a special company spirit, but then anybody within a team feels like that.
I think the British workman is equal to anybody in the world, and certainly our machinery is. We use enough of it. British management can be extremely good. I just feel, though, that basically the English have had a very easy time when they had their huge empire, and they had tremendous captive markets. You know, in the old days, the British Empire was a marvellous market. You had to buy from Britain with the preferential tariffs. You had no options, and once our old colonies were able to buy from the Japanese, the whole sort of structure of our trading broke down, and we were on our own, and we had to face up to tremendous competition, and that's when the cracks appeared. The banks fell back, the institutions that had the money supply, instead of building up our empire and the huge resources we had there, they fell back on the easy way. I mean, always when I was started, say 15 years ago, I used to go in a bank with a friend of mine, and he could borrow on huge amounts of money because he happened to be in property, and I was shown the door.
Remember, Bernard, that was Sunday afternoon, the first time you came to our house. Remember it?
Yeah, that's right.
You and Peter Garvett Edwards.
Yeah.
And I was coming home from chapel.
Yeah.
You never go to chapel, I go.
Well, I'm not a chapel man, you see.
No, but I went to chapel. I remember I could see a strange car on the yard. And I said, who the devil are those up in the house? And it was you and Peter Garvett Edwards.
Yeah.
And Peter Garvett Edwards said, here's Mr. Ashley from Machynlleth, and he's looking for a site for a little factory. And I said, oh, yes. And I took a very dim view on it, you know. A little factory like I thought it was only a small thing going to be. And I took you down to Debrief, remember?
That's right.
No, but I'm not interested in that, Francis. What I'm interested in is this. We've got 700 sheep on this farm, and they take the clip in June, and you get £200 for it.
Yes.
Well, that's fine for most farmers, but we could use that ourselves right through our factory. We could use it as a fibre.
Yeah, but it isn't allowed because of the board, you see.
Yes, but don't you think that's a bit silly?
Yes, it is very silly, very silly.
I mean, I know that most farmers, it suits them very well to sell it to the board.
Yes, but if you like to lose the money you get, you can do what you like, with your own...
You can't, no, they won't allow you. They won't allow you to. Oh,
yeah,
no.
but you only got to sell for the board, but you can keep what you can retain what you like.
No, you can only retain the wool from three sheep.
The same thing happened. There was an egg board, there was a potato board, and
yeah.
but all gone flop. And the milk marketing board.
Yeah.
But the milk marketing board is sticking as well. That has been a boon to the farmer.
Yeah. But there's an awful lot of middlemen involved in all these processes. And I mean, we get paid 35p a pound for our wool, virgin wool, never been used wool. And when it gets onto the market, we can get something like £2 a pound for that. So the difference between 35p and £2 is huge. And all I'm asking is that we can process our own wool. I mean, we've done it on a lab scale.
Here he comes. We're waiting for our pudding. We're not interested in
We're the same age.
Diane?
Yeah.
We're going to Brussels tomorrow. And I'll see you at the airstrip, 8:30. What? 10 o'clock, is it? Well, I've got to meet the notary to sign the thing, you know, and then we get it underway.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, how are you? Isn't it lovely, Catherine? Beautiful.
Hi, Hans.
Hello.
How are you? Yeah, great.
How are you?
Anne?
Great. Hello.
Super, really is. Fantastic. The shop front's incredible. Huh?
You just arrived, yeah?
Yeah. Hello, Emma. What a transformation.
What? An incredible transformation.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
It's almost ready now. It will take another week, but anyway, it's we do quite so
But we're
good.
trading.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It really is.
The response has been fantastic.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think we're doing about double what we expected, really.
For the first week, definitely. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Maybe the next week won't be so good.
That's right. But anyway, the average is important. So
Maybe next week we'll be borrowing from the bank.
Yeah.
Certainly I had dreams, but I never thought it would happen. And quite frankly, I didn't want it to happen. You know, personal success, it doesn't interest me. You know, I mean, obviously we make a lot of money, but I invest 99% of it back in our businesses.
Do you want some wine?
Just one.
Yes. Lovely.
Success is just 24 hours long. Tomorrow's another problem. Great shot.